part for. It's the code I expect you both to live by.
You know, the old man had the best right hook in the valley. No kind of organized boxing in this town until you got it going.
For the first time in my life, I just want to win.
Well, that's something I can get behind.
Hey everyone, welcome to Darpan Chat Central. It's exciting times for BC. A local BC film has been featured in film festivals and it's won an award as well. And it's quite exciting that it's all done in BC with local actors and producers. And to talk about the film Dil Rakh, Gloves of Kin, which has been released on Amazon Prime in Canada, in the UK, in New Zealand, and Australia. I have none other than Dalj Brar with me. He's the director, producer, and actor in the movie. Let's say hello to him. Hi, Dalj, how are you?
Yes, I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
Yes, thank you for taking the time.
Of course.
I just want to start off by saying I find it really interesting that you were into sciences. You've got a Bachelor of Science.
Yep.
And then you transitioned into the creative field.
Yeah.
Tell me all about that.
Well, that was my days at UBC. It was, your mind is just focused. A lot of Upners and Indians that are just all about education, which
Right.
is great. It's nothing wrong. That's
Right,
awesome.
right,
Doing education, but you're focused on whatever it is. Like mine was science. You got to be a doctor. You know what I mean? So that's all I did. Never even thought
Right.
about acting or making movies or any of
Right.
that kind of stuff, right? So, out of university, I went out just into the workforce, started doing things, doing sales and things like that. And you start, obviously, everybody watches the Oscars just happened, so
Yes.
you start seeing those things on TV and you kind of like, man, I'd love to be able to do that or get recognition. That's what it was for me in the beginning. It was like when I was young, you're like, I want people to be like, hey, are you that guy? You're that? I'm like, yeah, that's me, Whereas now I'm like the opposite, or like, because you get older, it's not about that. But when you're younger, that's what it's all about.
Right.
And so I think that's why I kind of gravitated towards that,
Right.
being younger. And then I started taking acting classes. I wanted to do it the right way. So I took 2 years of full acting classes.
Right.
It's like theatrical learning, like learning theater, Shakespeare and all that kind of stuff. And then from that, I just started falling in love with it. It was like the stories, like telling stories. And then I was getting like roles with a lot of accents, to be honest, when I first started. Right. And it was a friend of mine actually asked for my reel, and then they got it because they were going to give it to a producer. And they're like, no, like your reel with like all your acting, these are all accents. I'm like, that's all I get. I get all accent roles, right? And so I kind of realized like I'm only getting one-liners and this bit part here, this bit part there, that kind of thing. I just started getting tired of it, and I just need to learn how to do this myself, right? So I learned how to write.
Wow.
I learned how to direct. I learned how to produce. I started with short films, little by little. I did a lot of research, a lot of workshops. I went to LA a lot to learn from that industry, bringing that knowledge back here. And then I started making shorts, and then all of a sudden,
amazing.
Made a feature. Now this is my second, so I got two. Yeah, 2 of them out on Amazon now. Yeah.
That's pretty amazing.
Thank you.
I know when it comes to this particular film, you've starred in it as well, and you've directed it. So tell me how that experience was being behind the camera and on the screen itself.
Well, I was when I was in acting class, it was one of those things. I was a lot younger when I started. I've been at this like 20 years. So back when I started, it was one of those things like you gotta be a writer, director, producer. You gotta do it all, right? So I started wanting to do that. Just like a lot of people probably, or even people who are listening, is you always go 2 steps forward, 1 step back, 2 steps forward, and you just couldn't figure out how am I going to do it? How am I going to write, direct, produce? How am I going to do all this and hire all these people? Just couldn't get there. And then once I got to my first feature, I decided to just do it producing. So I just produced it. So just to see, okay, what do I do here? I'm going to do a feature film. I'm going to do all this kind of stuff. So I figured it all out, produced it. And then the next step was I went back towards my acting as like, I can do it. I think I can act, direct, and I can produce a film. And what I relied on was 100% rehearsals for 5 months before we shot.
Wow.
So when you're on set, it's really hard to be in the moment when you're acting, if I'm acting across from you, and then go, okay, stop. I got to go look at the footage that we just did, and I'll come back. Let's do that again. You kind of go out of the scene, right? You can't stay in character. So we rehearsed like crazy. Every actor that you see in this movie, they did such a wonderful job, and they're all local actors. They're all from here because they rehearsed. They put the time in, they rehearsed, and we just went on set and we just had fun. So I didn't have to be like, oh, hey, can you try it this weekend? We already went through all that. We did all that in rehearsals. They already knew what they wanted to do. and we just did it. And so it was great. It was a lot of fun, actually, to make it.
That's great. So I know you've been part of at least 30 productions by now.
Yeah.
How was this different from those past experiences?
Well, this is more your mind kind of, when you're an actor, because those productions that I've done, as an actor, it's a lot of fun because all you do is learn your lines and you go have fun. Do you know what I mean? Like once you have your lines, it's just fun. It's a lot of fun. But when you're producing and you're making it, everything is on your mind. Like everything. It's not just the acting. It's not just is everybody happy? Like eating, catering is, oh wait, is the location cool? Is the manager cool here? Is like, are we cool with this location? Oh, well, there's garbage there. Guys, let's get that. It's just like little things like this. You're like watching everything and making sure. So it's you kind of have fun with it because as long as you have the right people in place, it's all good. But you have so much on your mind. That's where the differences of when I first started out to where it is now. It's just putting the right people in place. It's still a lot of fun because you get your story out. Like this, the story of Dil Rakh is a story that's in my head for a long, long time.
Right.
And just to see it out and people to be able to watch it, to be entertained for an hour and a half. Like it's not like we're competing with Marvel or competing with these huge, huge productions. It's a low budget movie. It's a story. We just want people to watch the story, connect to it, and then enjoy their hour and a half, and they've been entertained for that day. You know, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
so,
great. Yeah. Share a little bit about the synopsis of this film for the audience.
Oh, absolutely. So the film's basically based on a father who comes out of prison after 20 years, tries to reconcile with his son while they battle racism in a small town, right? So it's based on, I grew up in Kitimat. I don't know if anybody, most people might know somebody from Kitimat here. It's crazy. Everybody knows somebody from my hometown. Yes. But I grew up there, raised till I was 18. There was racism, there was discrimination, but it was never blatant. It was never in your face. It was always sly or, we will give it to this person, not that guy. Nobody says stuff like too much racism or whatever it was. So I kind of made this movie to show generational racism. That's basically what it ends up being. So it's because the father comes out of prison after 20 years, he faces racism when he went in, comes out, the world hasn't changed, it's just different players. Now it's his son who's facing racism. And so it's kind of trying to show that small part of their life. At the end of it, do they solve it? Don't they solve it? I mean, I'll leave that to you guys to watch, but do you know what I mean? It's one of those is, are we going to solve racism? Are we going to, do you just live with it? What do you do? That kind of thing.
Lots of layers to it.
Exactly. So it gives conversation. It gets people engaged a little bit to talk about their, in film festivals that I had. I was in Chicago and I've been here at ISAF. People were crying in the audience that they actually related to and understanding that, it's not in your face. It's very subtle. Like you won't even know some people have gone through racism because it affects their life, but then they kind of get over it. Now they're grown up and they're like, I can take care of that. But now their kids are facing, you're kind of like, might be a little bit different racism. You kind of have to solve it at some point. You have to, you can't just let it go. You can't just let it go. You have to speak up. So, yeah. What's
been the response? I know it still has to be released on Amazon Prime in Latin America and Turkey. Yeah. But what's been the response in other parts of the world?
Again, I've been I know people in Australia, in England, of course in America and Canada. Right. And so I get the responses from people that I know. Yes. And then they obviously tell their friends and their families and they're going through it. And they're calling me and just really congratulating me and be like, hey, you actually made a real feature film with a story, and they all understood the story and they all were affected by it. And I'm just like, that's like the ultimate goal. That's exactly why I make movies, is I want people just to understand the story and be like, hey, this character experienced that. Other people in the world might experience something like that. You know what I mean? What
was the most enjoyable moment for you on set?
On set, it was probably the fighting. There's like a lot of boxing scenes. Yes. I'm not a boxer. I'm not a fighter. I'm actually a hockey player. So I grew up playing ice hockey. Right. But boxing and fighting, we had to train. Like we literally trained for 6 months. Well,
I guess gloves of kin makes all the sense.
Right? Exactly, yeah.
It's very power packed. I've seen the trailer, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So, but those are the funnest scenes because it's one of those, like we have to get in shape for it. It was during COVID, and then we kind of had to stall, and then we kind of made it.
Right.
Like a stall and a make, so we're kind of like, how people do fitness and you're like in great shape. Oh, we should have made this a year ago. We were in the best shape. Now we're not in the best shape, and we're, it's up and down. So it's one of those. But because we knew how to fight, it was awesome. It was like so much fun doing the fight scenes and choreography. We had stunt coordinators and just the stuff they were teaching us was awesome.
How was the experience at the film festival, the Sundar Prize Film Festival itself? How was that for you?
It's a platform. That's the film festivals I love because they They have their built-in audience. They have the people that come in there and give you that recognition of something that you've created. You spent many years on it. And you get a chance to be recognized for that. You get the cast, the crew, everybody's there. They get recognized. You know, that's the main thing I love about film festivals and the interaction. I'll be honest, the best thing is the Q&As. I love the Q&As at the end.
Right.
Because you actually understand. For me, it's great because I write stories, right? So if I write stories, I need to know what is affecting them. So they'll tell me, they'll be like, I went through something similar like this.
Right.
This is what happened to me. They'll just tell a story. I'll be like,
Right.
hey, that's a cool story.
Right.
And it just goes in my head, and I'm like, maybe it'll come up somewhere, you know, as I'm writing something, you know. And the film festivals, I just love them. I love film festivals because of that, because it's that built-in audience, and you get to talk, engage. Honestly, it's like, as opposed to just put the movie out and that's it. Okay, great, I'll go off and do something else. Who knows what people have experienced, right? So once it's out, it's kind of like nobody's going to pick up the phone and go, hey, let's find out who this Dalj Brar guy is. Let's call him. Hey, I want to talk to you about your movie. That's never going to happen. But in a film festival, that's exactly what happens.
No,
yeah, that's what I love about
it. Great.
Yeah.
So which parts of BC was the film shot in?
So we shot in all over, like Maple Ridge, Pitt Meadows, Surrey. Did we go to Vancouver? I believe we went to Vancouver. Yeah, so all the cities
Within the Lower Mainland?
Within the Lower Mainland. It was all in the Lower Mainland. Yeah, even my previous one, I did everything in the Lower Mainland. It's one of the, you know, that's the big thing in the news right now, is like we're trying to build our industry, and they're saying we don't produce local, we don't do this. Well, this film was produced local, funded local.
Yes.
Everything was done here. All cast and crew, everything was made from here. And that's what I'd love other people to do that. That's what we have to do, is write our own stories, whether it's us, the Indian culture, or anybody. It's BC. We're all in this together, you know what I mean? To write our stories, produce, and do what we got to do. So,
right. No, for sure. I mean, there's a reason we're called Hollywood North.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
So you want to keep that momentum going.
Absolutely.
How long was the entire process in terms of the shooting and filming and all of that?
So the filming itself was only 30 days.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
wow.
So less than 30, actually. It's 22 days that we shot.
Amazing.
Fast. That's why we rehearsed, because to shoot in 22 days, you have to rehearse, so we didn't have a lot of hiccups by the actors. The actors did a great job, right? It was the development. It's usually development, you know what I mean? Writing the story, going through different drafts. I think I went through 8 drafts of the story, just trying to figure out what's the best way to do this dialogue? What's the best way to do this scene? We need to add this scene, we need to do this. So a lot of that took probably about 2 years. You know, 2 to 3 years just to get it all developed and ready to go.
So the execution process of it.
Exactly. And then about 6 months of rehearsals, 6 months of kind of pre-production, but the shooting was only 22 days.
Wow.
And then post-production, right? So that's the pros go and do their thing, you know, the editing and color correction, all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
If people wanted to know more about your work, where can they go?
Probably Facebook, Instagram. I'm not very good at that stuff, but I get it. Like if somebody messages me or something like that, it's Dalj Brar. It's just my name. On Facebook, on Instagram. I'll post castings on there, that kind of stuff. But definitely watch Dil Rakh. Please watch it. It's on Amazon right now. If you're in the States watching this, it's on Amazon Prime there. It's on Amazon Prime here, UK. It's hopefully going to be a lot more countries all around the world.
Yes, I mean, it's yet to be released in Latin America and Turkey, so
it's coming.
Yeah, it's coming. Great. All right. Well, thank you so much for taking the time and sharing your story, and we wish you all the best in your future endeavors.
Awesome. Thank you, Ish.
Thank you. Thanks.